Greetings and welcome to another episode of the Accidental Farmer Podcast, the podcast that brings you the real dirt on farming. Today on the Accidental Farmer, we sit down with Joyce Kamande, co-founder and COO of Safi Organics, a Kenyan startup that's redefining how rural communities create value from what many consider waste. Joyce is a visionary agripreneur with a passion for empowering smallholder farmers, women and youth. Through Safi Organics, she's helping communities across Africa produce affordable, eco-friendly fertilizer right at the village level, boosting soil health, creating jobs, and building local resilience. A Mandela Washington Fellow, an MIT Legatum Foundry Fellow, and one Young World Ambassador, Joyce's journey blends innovation, sustainability, and a deep commitment to rural transformation. She is proof that when technology meets purpose, farming can truly change lives. Joyce, do you recognize that person?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Joe, for having me here today.
Thank you so much for accepting. And I should make a disclaimer, Joyce. I'm one of your clients.
Yes, you are.
Yes,
you
I
are.
buy your organic fertilizer and foliar, and it's doing wonders for my produce. Thank you.
Sure, thank you, and happy Customer Service Week.
Yeah, yes. And I'm also glad that you managed to bring us a sample of your organic fertilizers. Huh?
Yes.
We'll talk a little about it as we go along, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
So, Joyce, welcome to the Accidental Farmer Podcast.
Thank you.
Let's start at the beginning, okay?
Yeah.
What first drew you into agriculture and sustainability?
Yeah, that's a very good question. First of all, I have no professional background on agriculture. So I didn't study agriculture. And I did pursue purchasing and supplies management.
Okay.
And also MSc in procurement and logistics. Okay. But then during my fourth year in the university, I met my co-founder. His name is Samuel Regu. And he was doing research on waste management. He said, I'm doing research to make something called briquette. And I'm like, what is briquette? Yeah. That is way back in 2015. So I was like, maybe can I join you, do more research? And I was excited about what is this he's talking about? I've never heard about it. Out of curiosity, and I was like, because I had a lot of time, I was like, yeah, let me just learn more about what he's doing. So we did make briquettes. It was the inner cool thing. Everybody's trying to make briquettes. So it sounded fancy, but our briquettes actually didn't boil a cup of tea.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. So we made it from rice husk. Rice husk produces a lot of ash content. So it is the same problem of how our client is struggling using jiko with very bad charcoal. I know the Kenyan context is bad makaa. Yeah. So you have to keep shaking the jiko. Nobody wants to do that. Yeah. So you are like, that looks like it's not something really to pursue. And then now we went to making mosquito coils. We partnered with Kapi, made mosquito coils. Okay. So all that time, the waste is still rice husk in Moya. That was not really successful, although we sold 1 million of them because they were like, the mosquito coils are really burning very fast. So how do we...
You sold 1 million pieces?
Yes.
And you were not successful?
It was not successful because it used to burn faster comparing with the synthetic mosquito coils in the market. Okay. People use millions of mosquito coils. Yes. So we were like, why would we... they asked us, can you incorporate any other raw material such as coffee husk? But then we didn't have much money. We are still fresh. And the thing is, whatever brought us to Moya, because we came because there was a lot of open air burning happening, a lot of rice husk we were being given for free. It was a relief, actually.
Yes.
Like, you guys are taking the rice. Oh, they're like, you just take it. They will actually even bring it to our site. Wow. Because even though you try to burn it, it's very slow. The other thing, it's also very risky because when rice husk is burning and someone doesn't know what is going on there, they can actually have their legs burnt or something. Yeah. So they were like, this is a relief. The other thing, it doesn't easily decompose. It takes 5 to 7 years. So even though you dump it in the rice fields, it actually does more harm than good. So we were like, no, there's still a lot of tonnages every day produced in Moya. So what else can we create from this? So that is how now Safi Organics was born. We realized that through research that we can make soil amendments. So our first product was soil amendment, and we gave it to a farmer for free. We told them, if it works, pay us. If it doesn't, don't pay a thing. So apparently he was like in December, because that's when we do rice harvesting. He was like, oh, can you come over for goat eating? Because he did actually have 120% increase in yields. So what kind of magic is this? And that is actually, we were like, yeah, it seems like we're on the right track. Yes.
So how did you, I'm trying to understand the transition from mosquito coils to soil amendment.
Yeah.
And this was all part of the research that you and your co-founder were undertaking?
Yeah, we are doing research to create a product.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why Mwea? What was the link with Mwea? Is that where you're from or your partner or?
No, actually, it's because of the intention of creating briquettes.
Okay.
And Mwea, when my co-founder was traveling, he was like, "What is these big heaps alongside the road? What is happening?" It's out of curiosity.
Yes.
So when we bumped into making briquettes, it was like, this should be the place we should be available. The other thing, even looking at the landscape of the available biomass across the country, rice husk is well aggregated. It doesn't have a lot of, even it never comes in when it's in wet form. So it's always dry. So it's easier to convert rice husk into something. And also the fact that it is from different mills, so easily accessible. And also there was also space and land. And farming is happening there. So there were all factors to put into place before we said, I think this is where we can do some trials. Yeah.
Okay, good. You say one of the things you wanted to do was to improve the livelihoods or the lives of smallholder farmers.
Yeah.
Why would you pick them? And
why smallholder farmers?
Yes.
Just getting back, growing up in the 1990s, I grew up in a semi-arid area. My parents were farmers, so I have grown up in a farm. Our community are also farmers. So when we got into the solution of soil amendments, I was like, wow, this looks like be a game changer for my own community to start with. And the fact that farmers are also facing problems and also challenges accessing fertilizers. Number one, it's expensive. Sometimes it's affected by logistical costs as well and factors. For example, even during COVID-19. So those are the things that were like, oh, I think I can bring, something substantial for these farmers. And secondly, after even the trial, we were like, wow, if it can increase yields 120%, that means that is something good for these smallholder farmers to improve their livelihood, because more yields, more income, and actually the fact that it's a locally made fertilizer, so they can also own and feel they're also part of the company as well.
What you studied was logistics, procurement, supply chain. Has that come to help you in your business, in agribusiness? In any way, and logistics and things like that?
Yeah, I would say yes. At the moment, I'm practicing that because the company have now scaled up. But initially, it was nothing much of what I studied in school. It was more of business and, having hands-on what I'm working on. But I wouldn't say that by then, procurement and logistics was anything. I never used to practice apart from the small purchases of things, which, as an entrepreneur, you are the tea girl, you are the whatever.
You play all positions.
All position. But what I would say helped in is as we are scaling up, and setting up the company and all that, even creating the warehouse, that is when I remember, I learned the warehousing management. This is how a door should open. These are the kind of things that we should do. This is how a warehouse should have, PPEs. People should have PPEs, pathways and all that. So I can see that coming in. I can also see that coming in as we are doing purchases in terms of aggregating, contracting. That is how it's coming on together. But initially, no. And I was like, I did this in the university, but I'm a practicing agripreneur.
Yes. Okay. Good. How was your first experience with dealing with small-scale farmers? Describe it for us.
Oh, the experience.
Yes.
It was a roller coaster of things.
Yes.
Some days super happy. Some days you were like, what? Did I make the right choice? Because I would say the main focus of we are working smallholder farmers, But you're this entrepreneur who has invested so much, you want to grow very fast. But now the smallholder farmers are widely spread. So if you want to sell, like, let's say, for example, 1,000 bags, what that means is you have to factor in a lot of logistics, collections, and all that.
The whole distribution chain.
The whole distribution chain is, is quite diverse rather than dealing with a large-scale farmer. However, I know our commitment is to the smallholder farmers. This is what is in place. How do we actually factor in to bring them together and also help them? Because at the end of the day, they feed the economy. They also want to get, quality fertilizers at the right time and when they need it. So I would maybe quote two experiences. One is with a smallholder farmer who was also very curious. It's only that they wouldn't, farm like 50 acres of land, but they were very committed. So the good thing about the smallholder farmers, they don't farm on phone. Most of them are hands-on. Okay. So they walk to that is their bread and butter. So they wake up in the morning, they go to the farm, they can tell you what's the problem of their soil. So we were easily able to actually do demonstrations with them, test our product and roll out. And they are the sole decision maker. So when you just go in, you either say yes or no. But one time we had a challenge. I did actually talk to the smallholder farmers, and it was during the holiday, and he said, supply me X number of bags. When they got there, the number of bags, he was like, no, but this is not what I ordered, because the spouse said, no, we cannot buy this organic. By that time, it was like 10 years ago. 10 years ago. So they were like, what is organic fertilizer? Why does it look like charcoal? Because our product is biochar, so it somehow looks like grinded charcoal. And he was like, no, I cannot pay. And, he had to return the bags. So, of course, that was really, really frustrating. So that is one. But the good thing is 80% of the time, it has always been fulfilling. Because I would say the fulfilling part of this journey is just getting to this farmer. For example, one, his name is Mr. Kibushi. You supply him with the fertilizer. You see him grow from half an acre to 1 acre. He's currently doing about 5 acres. And then he's able to buy a second-hand tractor. So you're trying to, you're not giving them money. You're offering them a solution, providing them an organic fertilizer, which probably they could have spent more money trying to buy other fertilizers, and actually even their soil's degrading because long time people used to make manure, do all that. Composting. Times have changed. They also want their life more easier. And that's what I say. Like the way you want your life more comfortable, how fast can you be able to do things? AI and all that, farmers also want to feel the same way.
And you brought up a good point. You see, when you see a farmer growing and they're your client, then your business grows together with them. From half acre to 1 acre to 5 acres. That's good. So there are some lessons there. Now, my question is, as I'm a small scale farmer, and I would like to know what are some of the challenges you faced when you were starting the business. What are the main challenges you would say you faced?
Or in regards to Safi Organics? Or
to Safi Organics.
Safi Organics. So some of the challenges that we faced, number one, I would say, was just getting a client to say yes to a new product. Because we were the first people in Africa to make biochar. We're also the first people in Africa to make biochar-based fertilizers. Hold up. Stop there.
You were the first people to make biochar?
Yes, in Africa we were.
In Africa?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the first people to make biochar
based organic fertilizers.
Organic fertilizer.
Yes.
Okay. So there was a lot of information that you had to relay to the clients.
Yes. How do you train them? How do you tell them this is fertilizer? And they're like, no, wait a minute. This is the rice husk that we find alongside the road. How are you telling me it can be fertilizer, Because you're not telling them it's compost. Compost, they know, yes. There's compost. We make manure, we make this. But these guys are saying, we can make organic fertilizer from, the skepticism. That is one. That was a challenge. So a lot of creating awareness, training, telling the farmers, look, it's seeing is believing. So
Yes.
we did a lot of demonstration.
Yeah.
So on those demonstration, time is rolling by. There's a lot of investments that is being done to ensure that the farmers are able to learn as well and carry out demonstration plots and all that. And of course, the products now you are not selling. So
Yes.
there's a lot.
Yeah.
And just getting that customer to say yes and believe in a locally made organic fertilizer. Because even then, it was in powder form. The product I brought today is in granules.
Granular form, yes.
Yes, it's granular form. So a farmer would be like, this is a powder form, or is a powder organic fertilizer, you say, but I've never seen a powder fertilizer, because fertilizers are in granules, and that's what they have been using like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So how is this an organic fertilizer?
Yeah.
So, but the good thing and the takeaway with that is that we were able to develop products together with the farmers.
Yeah.
Because the first farmer I mentioned used 20 bags of biochar in his field. But then he was like, 20 bags is a lot. I'm incurring a lot of money because the workers charge per bag to do the application of fertilizer. How can we make this product better? So that is how we were also able to do more research, create a nutrient mix into it, and now make organic fertilizer. From that, we made one fertilizer. Now we have at least 3 products, fertilizers: a planting fertilizer, top dressing fertilizer, and a soil amender.
Okay.
So those are different products, but we could not be able to do that if we did not work with the farmers.
Yeah.
These smallholder farmers who are always ready, to try in that 1/4 acre of land, they are willing to give you a space to do the demonstration, right? So that is how we are able to develop those products. And then we have also expanded to even liquid fertilizers. In the long term, we are also looking to get organic pesticides. Why? Because a farmer is like, I've bought this and this. Do you also have, organic pesticides? Yeah. Because as even the trend is going upward for people getting conscious about what they're using in their farms, what they're eating, then there's also a demand for these organic products. The pesticides, and what else can they use in the farm just to ensure their farm is at a good state to do maximum production.
Great.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of the product evolved from the early adopters, those who took a chance on Safi Organics and said, let me try.
Yes.
And your ear was close to the ground, so you got a lot of feedback, and that helped you then develop the products as you went along.
Yes.
If I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah.
And now you've developed 3 different lines. What do you see? Do you see more products products coming out in the future?
I would say yes. But how to start with, we are looking at the nutrient mix. Okay. How do we make this product at least more in terms of the NPK to be a little bit high? Sustainably as well, because you still want to be at the range of organic products, so that the farmers can also cut the cost off. Rather than using 4 bags in an acre, can they be in a position to use 2? Yeah. And that's just a matter of doing more research on NPK, and my team is hands-on on that. Okay. But then even on the organic pesticides, the process that we use in making our fertilizer, we harvest wood vinegar from it. So that is more research we are doing. Can we be able to make pesticides? So there's hope to bring more products apart from the liquid fertilizer we have and the organic fertilizers that we have. We are also looking to bring more other products within the soil amendment space. Okay. Yes.
And what was the reason for organic as opposed to?
Well, the reason for organic, I would say one is because there's a high challenge as we are doing research, as we are trying all these other things. What you'd come across is 56% of African soils is acidic. Now we're at 62% of soil, they're acidic. So, okay, that's why we are having a decline in yields despite people using a lot of fertilizers, because Kenya is one of the leading countries in Africa using synthetic fertilizers. But then the soils are still acidic. The farmers are complaining, and now due to the challenges that were happening. Okay, so we can make an organic fertilizer locally made, because our commitment is which kind of waste can we use? And this is waste, rather than us, creating a product that is not really beneficial or creating a huge impact to the people or the community that they belong to. So Safi Organics was like, organic fertilizer. And as you can see, briquettes is eco-friendly, mosquito coils is eco-friendly. So we are still in the lines of sustainability. Yeah. So when we tampered into this and realized that it can make soil amendments, we were like, okay, if it can amend soil, now can we create an organic fertilizer that you, like Joe, can use organic fertilizer from Safi Organics without minding to buy other synthetic or even other fertilizers. It's a standalone fertilizer. So it's just throughout just minding, can a farmer really farm sustainably using Safi Organics?
And I'm glad that you said you started in 2015, so you're about 10 years on.
Yes.
I'm glad you stayed, because I started organic farming about 8 years ago. And the inputs were, first of all, very expensive.
Yes.
They were not locally available, and there were very few suppliers.
Yes.
So we had to rely on the integrity of the supplier, that first of all, the what they were giving us was organic. There's really no way of knowing, especially if the thing is not produced locally.
Yeah.
I want to go back to the early days of Safi Organics. So how did you balance innovation, funding, and impact? Because I'm sure the research and coming up with these products is not cheap. It's quite costly.
Yeah, it's quite costly. So what happened was we are a team of 3.
Okay.
And the technology is actually, I would say, our first innovation. The technology that we use, number one of our partner is a professor in MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Yes. So that was his project. He was like, I have this innovation. Can we work on this tech? We can produce biochar. They're like, okay. So that's the same thing that we also used to make mosquito coils and all that. So it has been, from brains to the lab, now to the real thing, because the technology is already working. Yeah. And we have produced a few of them across the country. And they are also like carbon credit certified. So we are not just using a technology to do things. They were always traditional way of creating biochar. Using artisanal kilns. That was our first thing that we did, and we made it locally.
Yes.
And then we were like, okay, if we can make this, how innovative do we become? Because their biochar was produced thousands of years ago, but how do we become innovative and competitive in this landscape? So now that's how we are like, we can make organic fertilizer. And that's how now it was born. How do we blend? The innovation now kicked in our nutrient mix, where anybody can produce biochar. But what is the nutrient mix that you're adding to the biochar to make it an organic fertilizer? Get it KEBS certified, get it eco certified to compete internationally, which is of course a long process as well. Yeah, and now getting to the funding question. One, we did a lot of grant application for the technology. We also got some funding from MIT and different players to help us just do more research and start up. But then one of the, I would say, our first huge grant that we got was when we won the Total Startup Award in 2016. That helped us buy a small space of land and build an office.
Okay.
So when we are able to build an office, then you can hire one extra person to just, come and, offer an extra hand. So I would say the funding that we got from these applications for grants to help us be able to have even working capital, because there was no way we were having any working capital, because this product we are doing trials and research, so there's no income coming in. So that is how we started. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
How do you balance the environmental, angle and sustainability and business viability? Is the business viable, or is it going to become viable? If we remove, the grants was good, it got you, catapulted you, it got you to where you are.
Yeah.
And then now, from where you are? Yeah.
So we got grants, we started selling and making revenue in 2017.
Okay.
So
that's 2 years from your inception.
Yeah. And then now we broke even around 2018 thereabout, and then we became profitable in 2020. So the business became profitable. Good. And we are making revenue. So we are able to hire people, we are able to build offices, we are able to, to do distribution and all that, and put our product out there. Work with agro dealers to distribute our product, create contract with the aggregators of rice husk and biomass to provide us, and now set up and work with youth groups. So we work with youth groups and create a channel where they produce biochar and bring biochar to Safi Organics. So that is how the company have been able to expand. And then last year, we did get our first investment from African Climate Ventures. So we got people who are like, these people are operating at a small scale. They have, 10,000 smallholder farmers they are working with this is evident. The product is stocked at National Cereals Produce Board, Kenya Farmers Association. They must be doing something because we have over 25 agro dealers across the country distributing our product. Private agro dealers. So they must be doing something. So they decided to invest in Safi Organics, and we grew from 6 tons to the 20 tons per day production commercial plant that we are currently operating.
Okay.
Yeah.
20 tons per
day.
Per day?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. This is really, it's very interesting. I didn't know Safi was growing at that rate and was that big. This whole fertilizer space is dominated by large multinationals. We see the government also has a hand in fertilizer. How does that, where do you fit in that whole ecosystem? Do they see you, are you seen, especially by the large multinationals that are synthetic manufacturers, do they see you as a threat, or how has your entry into the market been taken?
Because we have been in the space for the last 10 years, and of course we take a lot of 100 of metric tons in the country. So I would say we are more of complementers, because synthetic fertilizers don't offer what organic fertilizers offer.
You're a different segment.
Yes. So we, of course, is complementing. And of course, there are some of the farmers who have been using synthetic fertilizers that are also transitioning to using this. But it's about 1% of the market value.
But still,
it's still
1% of a big number is a big number.
Which Safi Organics have not taken all that alone.
No.
We also have other players within this sector. So what I would say, the government is coming in, and even if you can look at the trend, even the large multinational companies are also getting inclined to adopting organic fertilizers because there's no doubt that is needed. That is highly needed. And so you are seeing even they are developing organic products. They are also coming in to partner with people like us to come up with a product that is, is organic or even semi-organic, I would say, that is also good for the market. Because these two products are offering different solutions. However, I would say that what we are doing as organic fertilizer input manufacturers in the country is that we have come together, to talk to the government, tell them, this provision of subsidies to synthetic fertilizers, can that also be rolled out to organic input manufacturers in the country to enable us be able to also compete, and especially on subsidized fertilizers. Because if the government is able to help us subsidize our fertilizers, we can highly compete with the synthetic fertilizer that is subsidized. Because that is saving us some huge cost on our production and giving us a leveling ground where we can be able to sell to the same farmer that the synthetic fertilizer is selling to when you walk to NCPB. So that is ongoing conversation, because we have an association. It's called Organic Input Fertilizer Manufacturers of Kenya. So it's an association. We are coming together. We are talking with the government, and we are also working with CARO to do trials, to showcase to the government and all stakeholders that, yes, we have organic fertilizers. This is the quantity that we can be able to produce if given an opportunity, but we show them a roadmap that if we get investment, we get support, this is where we can get. So we have the numbers. We're having conversation with the government to see if the next season, actually, we can have subsidized organic fertilizers.
I didn't even know an association existed on organic fertilizers.
Yes, we really did form it in 2022.
And how many members do you have? Around how many members?
Around 15.
50?
15, 15.
Okay,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's growing, more and more people are venturing into that space.
Exactly. It's growing. It's also helping other upcoming organic fertilizer input manufacturers to get certification, such as KEBS, and also market entry. When you're the government and stakeholders tend to listen to a group of people rather than to individuals. Yeah, exactly. As you walk around and say, I produce 20 tons.
They say you're only doing it for yourself.
And then, the metric tons we are talking about is almost 1 million.
Yes.
It's become a hard conversation. But together as a group, that is a voice that can be heard.
Yes. How does decentralized production empower communities and small and create jobs? How does that? Tell me a bit about this. You talked about decentralizing production, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Safi Organics is a good example of what decentralization and small scale or fertilizer production can actually do. For example, we have decentralized our fertilizer within Moya.
Okay.
And we set up within the same community that is producing raw materials.
Mm-hmm.
So number one, everybody was like, what are these guys doing with this raw material? Mm-hmm. Nobody was doing anything about it. Mm-hmm. So what it alarmed was like, we have been dumping this. It can be a source of income. So we created jobs just automatically. How do you source it? Yeah. The people who are bringing it to you, the rice millers, and even the people who are actually putting it in the sacks. That is already another job stream, or I would say a pipeline that have been created that did not exist. From there, this need to be aggregated. You need to have contracts of how do these people actually bring it to you. So you find now that women are in that space. They're taking the contract from different pillars. We can supply you this biomass, and they bring it to your site. The supply chain comes in, even because the trucks that are bringing in, they have got another source of income as well. So, but now coming to what Safi Organics process does is we have set up a machinery at the local site. We employ over 20 people from that specific community in the production, in the marketing. But Safi Organics have over 35 employees, full-time employees, and about 45 temporary, I would say, spread across the country. So that is the impact that it has, because there's no way you'd create an organization within a community and now you start outsourcing people to come work within a community.
It can bring conflict and all other things.
Yeah. Exactly. And then the other thing it does, because you have created an organization or a company within a rural sector, what it means that people start saying, okay, can we create schools around here? Better roads, because it's also inclined to there are people coming in. The people you have also employed, they are also maybe staying within the same community, and that what that means is that people are building houses so that they can be able to accommodate these people. There's another Mama Mboga there who was not doing something, and so an opportunity, because there are these people. Why would I not set up this kind of business? So it is bringing, it's just a ripple effect to just a lot of things happening. Okay. And thirdly, like for example, the youth groups that we set. One youth group comprises about 10 members at least. And these 10 members, they have somewhere they're going to work, right? They have a guarantee that Safi Organics is going to buy their biochar. So while they come to travel to the city to look for a job, whereas they can get, some good, decent amount of money. There's no much expenses in the rural areas. So they opt to, let me stay at the rural area, let me do development. And as they are doing that, they're also creating, what else can I do? They either become farmers, they either open another business for themselves. And that means also that particular community is growing. So it's just, I would say it is impact that sometimes you don't see firsthand, but as it progresses, it becomes very sustainable with a very huge impact. Yes.
Well done. Yeah. So are you distributing your products across the country?
Yes, we are.
You are?
Yeah, in the major farming counties.
Farming counties.
Yeah.
And production, is it only in Moya, or are you also producing in other areas of the country?
No, at the moment, every production is being done in Moya.
In Moya. Are you looking at expanding beyond Moya?
Yes, we are. We are looking into western part of the country. Okay. We have done feasibility across the country to realize which kind of biomass can we tap into, what is the capacity and all that. Yeah. But our eye is very keen on western part of the country. So we have done some feasibility study, talked to different partners. And that's will be our next expansion point.
Okay. Why I was asking that is because, for example, Ahero is a big rice growing. And I'm sure they have a lot of waste as well. So I was thinking, those are some of the areas you've been looking at?
Yes.
But how about other waste, especially when you talk about the western part of the country? Sugarcane is largely grown in those areas. Have you thought of...
Yes, as Safi Organics, we are not only inclined to the rice.
That's where you started.
Yes, that's where we started. But we have done trials on different biomass waste. For example, macadamia, We have done a lot of trials on bagasse. We have done a lot of trials on sisal, on wood chips.
Okay.
All that. So, and we have done good research to know if we set up our company here, what is the availability of biomass that we can get throughout the year?
Yeah.
Because now we are dependent on how they are farming. So, like, for example, in the western part of the country, our huge target is the bagasse and rice husk.
Okay.
So, yes, that will be our next expansion point. Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about Joyce now, as a female co-founder or as a female founder of this business.
Yeah.
Tell us some of the barriers and some of the breakthroughs that you've experienced.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, so I myself, yes, I'm female, but I think it's because I grew up with boys.
Okay.
And
so you can stand your ground.
Yeah, I can stand my ground. And the other thing I know is, growing up, competing with men, you don't have to be like, kind of special in a certain way. So it has shaped up. Sometimes that's when you realize, I'm female as well.
Yeah.
So I've always had my mind on, I'm an entrepreneur first before getting my mind. I'm a female entrepreneur. So that's my first vision. Okay. However, there are some things that just happen within the space because there's male and female.
There are biases.
Just by default.
Cultures. Yes.
So some of the challenges that I would say is where maybe somebody just walks in the office and, I want to talk to so-and-so and you're like, maybe can I offer you this? But typically, they are like, they're not expecting probably you should be one of the co-founders or something.
I want to talk to the boss.
Yeah. So
can you take me to the boss?
Yeah. So I'd say that is one of the major challenge.
Okay.
And then the other challenge I would say is also some competence, especially because for us, female, and especially because of my mother. So sometimes and I would say I'm super, super happy because my co-founders always come in. Yeah. For example, maybe during maternity leave, sometimes the baby is sick. The women is the one who are inclined to actually play those roles. Yes. So sometimes I feel people are shy. Will you be competent enough, or will you do it because you just, I had this and this, I had this and this. And you see more, most of even people inclined to probably they want to create a relationship with the male partner in that company because they think you're not super, super competent because of the other roles that sometimes drag the women behind, right? So I would say that, but on the third point, let me talk about the advantages. There are some who are super, super excited. They're like, oh, she's a woman entrepreneur. She's doing this and this. So that is like, they want to talk to you.
Yes.
The number is not high.
And both male and female.
Yes.
Because they're inspired. They're inspired.
They're inspired. How did you come up with this? What did you study in school? And the fact that I'm also in agriculture and especially in the organic fertilizer. I would say back then, I didn't ever meet somebody who was in the organic fertilizer, female. So it's a male-dominated industry. So people are like, oh, they're interested. How did she land in making organic fertilizer? Why did you opt to work in the rural areas, you know? But that alone is like, oh, they're inspired. That alone is like, they believe probably this business can work. Why would this woman be, pursuing this and she have the capacity to do the other? So I would say most people are inspired by that. It has also brought traction of more female people coming to the space of organic fertilizer production because they have seen it's possible. Thirdly, we have got some partners coming in to support us, and they have seen, okay, Joyce is able to do this, then that means that we can also back other women entrepreneurs.
So you're kind of opening the door, holding the ladder for other people to.
So I would say that is one of the advantages, that being on the front line. Of course, it has its own share, but then the bigger picture and how it now looks like is worthwhile.
Good. And you have received global recognition.
Yes.
The Mandela Washington Fellowship.
Yes.
The MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Legatum Fellow. How have these experiences influenced your leadership journey? How have they?
So the experiences, I would say one of the big experience in the international experience was with the Mandela Washington Fellow Fellowship, supported by the U.S. Department of State. That was eye-opening. And I was like, wow, people believe in what I do.
Yeah.
Even when they are world apart, but
Yes.
they believe in what I do. They believe in what I'm telling them that I'm capable of doing and how I've been able to get here. So that was eye-opening for me. It was breathtaking. I got time to spend in the States, learn about the agriculture, got some partnership as well with also other fellows too.
Yes.
The US Department of State have also been a key partner in helping Safi Organics to grow. So that was just, something that gets onto your plate and things now keep flowing because if one person believed in you and they're like, what did they see in her? So everybody else now is like, maybe let's try and see how can we get to empower her, get to this space. So the other bigger thing that I also get on a personal level, now leave alone, Safi Organics, is the Mandela Washington, the Legatum Foundry Fellow.
Yeah.
It focuses on you as a founder. Who are you? You get to learn about adaptive leadership. And it gives you time just to reflect on you as a person. Who are you? Because Safi Organics exists, yes, you are part of it. But who are you as a person? How do you transit your leadership, your experience to the people around you to make Safi Organics better? Because at the end of the day is, what is the vision? Are you still inclined to that vision? Are you still inclined to the values you believe as a person? So it took me to another different level, and it took me to another thinking space where there's always an adaptive way of doing things rather than being technical. Some things need technicality, but other things also need adaptability. So that was super, super nice. Yeah. And from that, I've also been listed recently as 10 Faces Changing Africa Women Edition.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And 40 under 40. Yeah. So those spaces have also got me to a place where I'm sharing my experience with other entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs especially, because the 10 Faces Changing Africa is Women Edition. The 40 under 40 is also women. And you find, women are doing great. Women are they're changing the narrative across Africa. And it also gives you a space to create partnership with other people, share as founders, because sometimes it's very lonely. You tell maybe your friends, your family, but they cannot completely understand. Yeah. But sometimes you just see somebody is doing this as an entrepreneur, you share with them, they're like, that's what I passed through like 5 years ago. Yes. So it's therapy. Yeah. I would say, because all these recognitions, they
it's an affirmation, it's a validation.
Yes, it's a validation, but it's also something that, keeps you grounded and say there are also other people doing the same thing.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said it keeps you grounded, because some people, when they get all these awards and accolades, then grounding becomes a challenge.
No, for me, I would say
when MIT is recognizing you, you start saying then. Anyway, but that's very good to hear.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about what's next. We've talked about how it started, what you're doing. What's next for Safi Organics? Next 5 years, 10 years? Do you see Africa?
Yeah.
The world?
Yeah.
What is in store in the future?
Yeah, what is in store for Safi Organics is, of course, to continue doing better. Just knowing that what got us here is not what is going to get us to the next level. Absolutely. So open to partnerships and, of course, people to help us get to the next level, or organization. And what we are looking to is setting up across the country 5 same production plants, just replicating and learning or mirroring what we are currently doing in Moya. So the capacity of Moya is at 20 tons. We want to get it to around 60 tons. And of course, that is in phases. We get to 40 and then we get to 60. Yeah. However, we are going to set up 5 production plants across the country using different biomass, being located in different spaces, so that it can also help cut in terms of distribution of the fertilizers. So that is how Safi Organics is looking into. And looking to around 2030, 2028, we are looking to onboard and serve over 400,000 smallholder farmers. So at the moment, we are serving 18,000. But the bigger picture is, with the production that we have, we can get only to around 25 on the process to 50. Yeah. However, with these 5 production sites that we are going to actually develop, we can serve over 400,000 smallholder farmers. After we are done with that, in the next 3 years, we expand to East Africa. But our expansion model will not be like setting up the whole production plant. We are looking for partners and to create franchise models where we provide our tech, we provide our brand, and we are able to set up in those particular regions. Because number one, it's more easier for an entrepreneur who is interested to set up a production plant, run it in Uganda, rather than us going all that. Yes. So that is how the plan looks like. And of course, getting more farmers, employing more youth, creating decent jobs in the rural areas to just validate to this young person in the rural area. You don't have to go to the urban areas to get a job. Safi Organics process can be able to pay you a decent salary through the production of biochar. Let's say around 40,000 Kenya shillings in the rural area. So
with a lower cost of living,
exactly.
So better, decent. You live a better life, quality of life.
Quality of life, and we also don't believe like not allowing people to grow. So we also allow them to grow. They transition, and it has been an example because 40 of our employees came in a lower level, but now they are on top level. So so that is what we are looking at.
So you're looking, the next 5 years is growth, really, scale.
Yes, it's super growth.
Growing pains.
It's super growth.
And what role do you see technology playing, not only in Safi, but in agriculture generally in Africa?
I'm a big advocate for technology.
And you've proven it.
Yes, super. And the question I always say, the question I always ask, why is everybody looking for a washing machine? Why is everybody looking for, for AI, ChatGPT, deep dive, name it, to make your life better, to make your life move more faster.
And easier.
And easier, right? So, but why do we want to tell the farmers not to use tech to make their life more easier? Because I believe that if you need your life more easier, we should also make the life of smallholder farmers and farmers more easier. Because looking at tech, that smallholder farmers, if it's situated in the village, and we have, they have Wi-Fi, we have apps that will allow them to be able to sell their produce without actually them getting from where they are. That is, itself is just, cutting down a lot of cost and more time we said for them going to the market. If somebody else can be able to do that and develop an app that can does that, good. If we can develop tools that these smallholder farmers can actually use in their farms to make, even farming more easier, the sprays, everything. It doesn't have to be breaking their back. It doesn't have to be manual. That means that if they're able to do that, more production, we have more farmers who are mentally superb.
It's challenging.
It is really challenging. Farming is draining because what I say is that they're the most vulnerable group that I know ever exists. Yes, number one, and Joe, I know you're a witness to this. A farmer is somebody who wakes up, go to the farm, waiting what will happen. He doesn't know if it's going to rain. Sometimes they need the rain. Sometimes they don't need that rain. Sometimes you have also climate change comes. Pest
too many
comes.
Variables.
And they're waiting. Now Joyce comes with her fertilizer. Safi Organics brings her fertilizer. There's somebody else who is selling them another fertilizer. When they are not even yet done, there's somebody else bringing them, pesticides and what. They are vulnerable because all they need is to get the best from their farm. After that, their struggle don't end there. They have to bother now. Is the market flooded? Will I sell profitability? Will I sell on a loss? Sometimes even the food gets spoiled in the farm.
That's true. Post-harvest losses.
Post-harvest losses. Super. Sometimes they are like, even me, even farming, taking this to the market is more loss than me leaving it in the farm. You can see that kind of a farmer really struggling on that aspect. We need to just get their life more better. If there's a way of making their life more better, we make it more better. So, tech can actually play a very big role in ensuring our farmers get into a better space.
Yeah, good. And thank you anyway, you're a farmer as well. So you know that what we go through. And it would be good to see technology doing that, enhancing the lives of farmers.
Exactly.
I agree. So how do you personally stay grounded and motivating in this demanding space, Joy? How do you remain humble? That's grounded and even motivated, because there's challenges every day, right? Especially now manufacturing, the cost of manufacturing. very high in this country. And distribution and managing farmers' expectations.
Yes.
You might give us the best product, but if something goes wrong, you're in line of the people who are going to complain about.
You're right.
Safi is not safe, is not immunized from that.
It's not. I think, I believe challenges is what molds us.
Yes.
And I also want to remain very optimistic as we are doing things as well. And one thing as Safi Organics we have done is becoming real. For example, this is the challenge that we are facing. Yes, we are here. So how do we get ourselves out of here? Because sometimes it's more of denial. You're like, how did we get here? You start beating yourself. That is not helping. So one thing we said, and one thing that I solidly believe is that always remain optimistic. And I always tell even our employees that today's Tuesday, tomorrow is going to be Wednesday. What that clearly means is whatever happened yesterday might not happen today. Yesterday might be bad, but tomorrow can be bad. Over. Yes. And there's nothing that is constant. So even as we are facing these challenges, there's nothing that is constant. It's only a chance for us to have an open mind, to look for another solution, or to know how do we navigate, how do we grow, how do we still continue with the grit? Do we take a breath? Do we quit, or do we level up? And sometimes there are things that you have let go, there are things that you say they no longer serve you well, and you have to really be honest with yourself and say, this doesn't serve you. I know you love it, but then you're gonna let it go. Sometimes you need to breathe, and relaxing and taking a pause is not a sign of defeat. It's a sign of self-reflection, so that now you can get to the next level. Because I'm always a believer, how do you get to the next level if you really haven't figured out on the resting space exactly how is it that it's supposed to happen? Because like Safi Organics, when we started, we were like, I think we can produce where we didn't have the point of how do we even bring the youth groups. But I would quote this one challenge. We got a very huge order from a client. He is like, can you give me 1,000 back tomorrow? We didn't have any tech apart from the technology we're using to produce. How do we package? How do we find people? How do we even get the production at this level? So that particular challenge made us actually think, how do we get biochar produced at maximum? Because we just can't. So that is how the youth group's idea came in. It was a challenge, but a challenge that opened now another pathway for Safi Organics in terms of expansion. So, and then the other thing that I'm also a big believer in God. So sometimes you're like, things are not working. You can't know why. Because to be really honest, there are times you give it your best. 200% of your best. There's nothing that is remaining. But at times, there's always the higher being, quick believer in God, trust in ask for his guidance. And I feel as a Christian, that gives me some inspiration. It gives me some reassurance that things are going to be better. So people are always like, there's something that you always run into because as human, there are times you feel super, super low. And also reminding God, even the times that sometimes you feel that you have made it or you're trying to make it, maybe help me stay grounded and also help me to appreciate the value of people because it's people who made you who you are. Yeah, so I think that's what has kept me grounded. Yeah.
So your faith has played a big part
role.
in.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Yeah. A couple more questions. What advice would you give to young entrepreneurs, especially women who want to make an impact in agriculture?
Yeah, that is always a good question any time of the day. So what I would my rallying cry or my call to action to the women entrepreneurs who, not women entrepreneurs actually, but women who are intending to become entrepreneurs is you start with what you have. And what I mean with start with what you have is that idea. What do you have? You have a laptop, there's a challenge you have identified. Do research about it. Know, have the numbers, know what is the major challenge. Talk to a few people. Some will say no, because if they say 100%, you are wrong. There's no way that everybody will support. That's a wrong idea. So talk to a few people, do more research, have the numbers. And then from there, start small. sometimes the huge challenge is always, I want to do production. Do I have this? People start from manual. Safi Organics started from manual.
Yeah.
But when you come there, you'll see like 90% of our process is automated. But we did run like manually for about 8 years or so. So it's starting with what you have. For example, is an idea about, food, is an idea. You can start even from your own kitchen. And right now, people are very advantaged. Because Joe, you can log into TikTok, you can learn. You can log to YouTube, you can learn. There's a lot of information out there.
You're saying that I read somewhere, somebody said, in this day and age, we have no excuse for not knowing anything or learning anything we want to.
Yes.
Because the information is out there. And a lot of it is actually available for at a low cost or no cost.
Yes.
So what you're saying is true.
Yeah. And apart from you learning, selling, marketing have also been made possible by online. Yeah. So like there's somebody who doesn't even have a shop, but they're making good revenues. Yeah. So you can sell online, Facebook, whatever, all your channels, just leverage on them. And you don't have to get worried that I don't have a physical shop. People, their minds have also opened up because how we are working hybrid is the same people. They're the same people who don't want to walk into a shop. No. So the market is there as long as you know the number. However, make it, if it's your passion, invest in it. Yeah. And consistency. Yeah. That is the other thing. That's you start, then you take a break for... No, people want consistency. Yes. So that is something that I can also overemphasize. Yeah. But agriculture is super, super great. And what people don't know is the women are actually the leading people in agriculture. Yes. It's only that they are not out there. Their stories are not well told. Yes. But we are the leading people in agriculture.
Okay.
Yes.
So finally... as a farmer, as a manufacturer, as an agripreneur, what lessons has farming taught you about life?
That's a very hard question.
You mentioned some of them. Yes.
Yeah, so like through my LinkedIn, I write so much about farming.
Yes. And I follow you on LinkedIn. And I learn, I listen. That's what made me say, I must get Joy to come and tell us her story.
Yeah, nice story. Yeah. You just look at the life of a farmer, and if nothing ever humbled you, then farming should have humbled you. Yes. Because farming is not, like how somebody says, this is a sure bet. No. It cannot be a sure bet. You wake up yesterday, you people, including the crop, were all good at 100%, right? You wake up tomorrow and you're like, what really happened here? And that alone can give you a shock. That alone can disorganize your whole thinking and beliefs. But then if you have ever farmed, I don't think there's nothing in this world you can't conquer. Wow. One, because, for example, it is garbage in, garbage out. And that is what people say. However, in farming, that is also not a sure bet, because you might have done everything right that needed to be done. But then something somewhere from nowhere just happens. Yeah. So that is always my big belief. And the other thing that I would say, the other lesson, it has made me appreciate people. For example, I always have this thing of you're eating food on your plate, and literally, if you ask people, or even kids, where did this come from? They cannot tell you a story. They cannot give you good grounds. But as a farmer, I appreciate. The moment I see somebody like pouring food in the dustbin, I'm like, you should know how much sweat and effort yes. and commitment it has taken for you to have that food on your table. And with that alone, because I've seen all that is happening, I'm always a quick believer of every grain counts. And rice is the most consumed commodity in this world. And I'm a rice farmer. And rice will always pour on the farm when you're doing harvesting, even before the birds are going to come and eat it. And then after all these struggles, because you have to mill, the rice will just, like drop. And in my mother tongue, there's always this phrase that is said: rice will stop pouring the moment it gets into your stomach. But every time from the land to the farming to what, rice is always, getting off. And I'm like, So I always say every grain counts. But I knew that the moment I myself farmed, and I knew, oh my God, the ugali that we eat, this is all that goes in. And I was like, something have to be done. And what I learned was that, yes, you are farming, but who is consuming? We also need responsible consumers. And so that is also my approach in other dimensions of life. And just trying to see what can patience do to me. Because as a farmer, you have to be patient. There is no shortcut. We are harvesting after 3 months. That is what is going to happen.
It will not happen a week sooner.
It's not going to happen.
2, you cannot.
Yes, it's not going to happen. Yes. So that I would say those are my major takeaways in farming.
Very true.
Yeah.
I like what you said. Farming is humbling.
Yes,
it's
so
very humbling.
Yeah.
I read somewhere, someone said that farming is one of the most gratifying things. Something growing, but it will always break your heart. Nobody has not suffered a loss who has farmed.
There's no farmer who does it.
Nobody will tell you, yes.
There's nobody making noise to you, but the crops are talking to you. And
yes.
Or even the yields,
Joyce, thank you very much for a very inspiring conversation.
Yeah.
If I liked Safi Organics before, I like it even more now from what I know, the backstory and the reason behind it. And we're very happy with the values, the thing about sustainability. What was waste and was actually going to be waste is now being converted into something that is beneficial.
Yeah.
And is amending the soil. On this show, we always talk about soil health.
Oh, nice.
And because it's a big issue.
It's a big issue.
Yeah, and you have a product that is helping in doing that.
Yeah.
So we're thankful. So this is one of the products. Is it something that is used on any crop?
Yes, apart from tea.
Yes, you mentioned that to me once when I talked to you on the phone. Explain the why. Why can't we use it on tea?
Why we don't use biochar on tea is because tea thrives in acidic soils. Yes. But biochar is reducing soil acidity. Yes. So that might be a little bit confusing. Yeah. However, if somebody farming tea is experiencing low organic matter, you can use biochar to increase the organic matter. Okay. Yes.
Okay, so it depends on its application.
Yes,
and
but most of the time,
advise against it.
Yeah, because we are also doing research on it.
Yes.
What is the role in terms of, because a farmer interest is soil increase in yields. Okay. Yes. So if he's not able to increase the yields, then a farmer will be like, why are you telling me to use it? Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to reach out to Safi Organics, we go to your website, or how does one reach out to know more about the product and how to order the product?
Okay, so we have a website. That is one. You can check us online, Safi Organics.
Okay.
.co.ke.
Okay.
And then we're also available on Facebook, on LinkedIn as well. Okay. And if it's okay, I can also give out my number. Yeah. Okay. Which is 07 15 194 295. Talk to Joyce. We also have our office number. Okay. That is 0736 262 642. Okay. You reach out to Samuel or somebody called Kelvin. Yeah. Yes.
And I can attest that you've got very good customer service. And I'm not only saying that because it's customer service week, but I buy your products every 2 or so weeks.
Yeah.
And we're also expanding production, so I want to try it in different parts of the country.
Yeah. I always wish you the best in that bumpy harvest. Yeah, my wish is that when farmers grow, we also grow as Safi Organics.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Joy.
Thank you very much. And maybe a punchline for this one would be
as long
as long as you eat, you are directly involved in agriculture. So be a responsible producer and a responsible consumer. Every grain matters.
Fantastic. Now the trick is to convert that into money, right? No. But you're right. Every grain matters. I will take that away. Yeah. So there you go, viewers. We've just had another very interesting show with Joyce Kamande of Safi Organics, who has inspired us told us her journey of going into production in the agriculture space and its infusion with technology, innovation, and research. So tune in again for another episode of the Accidental Farmer podcast, where we bring you the real dirt on farming.